Hello, everybody. Hey, how you doing? Hold on. I'm not muted. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Cool.
You're
Okay,
not muted.
I'm not muted. Awesome. Awesome. Hi. So welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to our Tuesday edition of Adex Night Live. I'm joined by Catherine, as always. Catherine.
Hello.
And no echo. We solved it last week. I got Catherine some headphones. It was awesome. So, yeah, we are in the thick of the graphic designing for the Jimmies. That's going. It's going. But today,
Because I made him do like 3 times as much work.
well,
It's my fault.
there's 45 categories. I'm adding 5 more categories as a like creative Jimmys or creative arts Jimmys section of it. So it's gonna be a long awards show, but it's okay. It's fine. We'll deal with it at some point. But yeah. So that's look. I'm not promising Thanksgiving anymore. I'm just it'll happen when it happens. So there's that.
It just has to happen by the end of the year.
Yeah. So Christmas, maybe no. It'll be
But we're including mag and rhythmic and a tiny little bit of tumbling.
yeah, because it's gymnastics, not just artistic gymnastics. So there's that. I'm really excited today to talk about some Gym Internet news, and then we'll go into Scam Cup 87. Today we're live on both both YouTube pages, Facebook, Twitter. I mean X. Hello Gym Internet, and on Twitch. So it'll be
So
fun.
why don't we start with the sad news and talk about Riley?
Yes. So today Riley posted on her Instagram page that she is in a boots and that she was sad that we won't get to see her double layout dismount, which looked a little LSU-y. That's not, mince words. It looked a little LSU. And the LSU double layout technique is they're going for a snap technique, but it's just over exaggerated. It looks too
But
soft to
the
fall.
LSU layout gets the scores. So why not do it?
Very true. Very true. She looked great. It's a shame.
So there've been some debates over whether she says you won't get to see it till next year, if that means January, or if that means a year from now. And I think it means a year from now.
Yeah, but I mean, does Jenny have enough scholarships?
So she can redshirt. I think that Jenny gives Riley another year because I think that she generally gives 2 years.
Okay.
But Florida is running out of scholarships, as you say. I mean, there's the other issue of Morgan and whether Morgan can make any lineups this year.
Yeah, they have way too much talent.
Well,
I mean,
they signed too many broken elites.
and the same thing can be said about LSU, though. Like
But a lot of, but LSU, like most of those aren't broken elites that came to them broken. That's Jay Clark breaking people.
Ooh, T. Yeah, but
I mean,
I
it
want to
just
say,
is.
I want to say that Riley meant that we won't get to see it until January because Hype Night is in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
We'll know in a couple of weeks anyway.
yeah.
But
Also, I want to say that look, I will stream. If you've seen me on Twitter or X, I have been asking every single school that I see has an inter squad or whatever if they're going to live stream the competition. And of all those schools, the only school that replied to me was Utah.
that's hilarious.
And they said their Red Rocks will be live streamed. So I will stream Red Rocks. I will stream Meet the Bruins. I will stream the Michigan preview, which has those 2 bitches over there commenting on it, but whatever. Sorry. Did it slip out? Sorry. And I will stream. What's the other one? I think that's it. I said what I said. I'm sorry.
You may drag me into some of this NCAA, but you gotta to know that I am not an NCAA bitch.
You need to get on Gymlytics. You need to do fantasy. Come on, it'll be fun.
I hate everything about the things that people love about NCAA.
I know you do, but hear me out. So I didn't really care for NCAA until I started doing fantasy gymnastics. And because I started doing fantasy gymnastics, I started like getting gymnasts that I didn't about from schools I didn't know about. And that really got me to appreciate NCAA when I started watching the Ball State and like the Rutgers and all those. It's
I mean, I watch a lot of those because I when I'm maintaining that sort of massive spreadsheet of all of the meets you can find on YouTube, which thanks to number one gym fan, wherever they are and whoever they are, because they do amazing stuff. I watch a lot of the postseason stuff, even from the like small schools. But
yeah.
I kind of feel like I don't want to talk about why I don't like NCAA because I don't want to ruin other people's fun.
Oh,
Like,
the toxic positivity.
I mean, that's some of it, but like, I, the reasons I don't like it are the reasons that are to me like not objectively correct. So people should be able to enjoy it without me poo-pooing on their fun.
Poo-poo on their fun. Poo-poo on their fun.
I can't take it seriously until they fix the scoring, and they're not going to fix the scoring.
They're not, because of the of, because the televisor meets. That's what it is, and they need a
Oh,
narrative.
I'll tell you what will force them to fix scoring, and it will happen eventually.
What is it?
Is gambling,
Oh yes. Oh
because
yes.
sooner or later, and maybe sooner, someone is going to figure out how easy it is to fix these meets, and it's going to be a scandal. And I don't say this out of nowhere. NCAA has like a million gambling scandals, and
Oh yeah.
and reform only happens in NCAA after a gambling scandal.
Yeah. No, and I get that point, and I agree with that point. Actually, I do.
So,
Okay. So
but so
Harden.
anyway, we both don't think Riley is coming back this year.
No.
Um, this is heartbreaking because like she's such a gorgeous gymnast and everyone wants her to succeed because she's clearly such a good person.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Farting.
next one on our list is Gadarova has just had her surgery.
Yes.
You want to talk about prehab?
So prehab. People that don't know, when you have an injury, depending on the magnitude of your injury, if it's not a severe tear, not all tears are severe, but whatever, then you are forced to prehab, and that really helps build up like the muscles to be able to do the surgery. If you don't, there's many surgeons who are opposed to even doing surgery to begin with, and kind of are on the side of letting you heal naturally, which is not a thing, by the way. Well, I don't think it's a thing. I know it's a thing, but whatever. Point is, the prehab helps build up the strength of the muscles around it and makes the post surgery stuff a lot easier. So she's been doing a lot of prehab. We've seen the videos for it. She's clearly in pain in some of the videos, but I hopefully this means that her journey back to gymnastics will be a lot easier. Now, I don't know if she has as much time as say like a Sarah Yamaguchi, like
Well,
uh
so let's talk a little bit about the British team and her problem.
yes.
So traditionally, coming back from an ACL, she would start with beam and bars.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a good beam and bars worker. The problem is Becky Downey exists.
And she looks fucking fantastic.
And if you're not, so she's unlikely to make it back enough for the Olympics to do the all around. So she can't give the British vault and floor scores.
And I don't see her returning to her floor form.
At least not
Not for
for the
Paris.
Olympics.
Yeah.
So that puts her in direct competition with Becky, and Becky is just a better bars worker.
Although I will
Um,
say I don't see either one of them getting that half turning to Kachev credited.
well, yeah, that's another story. But
Yeah.
anyway, so that's the I put a poll on my Twitter asking about um, I gave
Comic calls.
the four biggest gymnast injuries.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, and so Gadarova was one of them. Sofia Kovac, who tore her ACL a month before Gadarova, was another one. She is in a different position because Hungary has a non-nominative spot. It's only one of them. She's the best Hungarian gymnast there that they've had since Henrietta Anodi 30 years ago. And
Period.
and if she can, and she's a medal threat on beam and bars.
Yes.
So if she can do either a bars routine or a beam routine by the Olympics, I think the Hungarians will send her. So she's not in that same competing for a spot on the team that Gadarova is, and she has a month more than Jessica did. The
Where's
third
Jennifer
person I put,
Gadarova?
we haven't seen anything from her.
No, we haven't.
I think she's just so injured. So the third person I put on the list is Ellie Seitz, who also gave us an injury update this week. She tore her ACL. Oh, sorry, she tore her Achilles, so she has a shorter recovery time than the knee people.
Yes,
But
go ahead.
You want to talk about this? Because you looked at what she said.
So apparently, Ellie said that originally she had scheduled to start swinging bars in November, right?
October, late October is what she said.
Late October. Honey, it is November 22nd, 21st. She's not swinging yet. She said she won't start swinging until December. I want to say that perhaps her surgeons, because we're thinking like she posted what her surgeon has. Well, I'm tweaking. Her surgeon has said to her, as opposed to her just going off whatever she thinks is happening. So I think not that there's been a setback, but like her heal time has taken longer than expected.
And her problem is that she's got Helen Keverick, and Keverick has the same Keverick. Yes, you're right. And Keverick has the same bars difficulty that Ellie Seitz has, and a higher all around.
Higher ceiling, yeah.
So, I mean, Ellie was always in a dogfight there, and if she's not swinging yet, that's a problem.
Again,
but she still has more time than Jessica.
She does. These Olympics are coming. Like, it's November 21st.
They're like, yeah, we're not a year away from the Olympics anymore. We're 6 months away from the Olympics.
Oh my god.
The fourth person I put on the list, which I think we should still keep an eye on, is Sarah Yamaguchi,
who is an incredible gymnast. Incredible gymnast. My god.
So you want to say who she is for people who don't follow?
Sarah Yamaguchi is an incredible gymnast. You got hurt on balance beam, right on a dismount.
Yeah, she tore an ACL. This is another ACL at, I believe it was NHK. Yes. She's Japanese. She's a Japanese junior at the time.
Yes. She's not the girl that does the deaf, right? No, that's not her. That's someone else. But she's a phenom on floor. She's a great all-arounder. Truly, she and the other Japanese like pieces of the puzzle could really contend for a team medal. I really do think so.
And she has just enough time to make it back.
However, the Japanese selection happens earlier in the year.
So the Japanese selection is the 1st of May. And she injured her ACL at the end of April. So she has a little over a year.
Now,
which
hold on.
Is a lot of time compared to everybody else.
We give these time frames, but we have to understand, not everybody, hear me clearly, not everybody is Aliyah Mustafina. Not everybody is, these gymnasts who are able to bounce back from injury. Sometimes this is a career-ending injury. Hello, me. And sometimes these athletes aren't able to or don't have it within them to do the rehab, to do all the things necessary to be able to be back in form. And we cannot hate on them for that.
if you're fighting for a spot that you may not get. That, like,
Exactly.
the demotivating part of, do I really want to put in all this work and then still not go to the Olympics?
It's just, this is a very difficult sport. And the thing is, like, people need to understand, like, not everybody is that willing to put in the work
We
into
should
getting
keep an
themselves
eye
back
on
up.
Brody for that too. I mean, he's shown lots of stuff, but so did Tim Daggett in 1988.
Exactly. Now, Brodens Malone was serving face in those USA Olympic promos. My God, very pretty man. But again, that was a devastating injury. Not even an ACL.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. And if he doesn't come back, I'm not even mad at him for it.
So
Call me up.
we should take a moment to talk about the promos.
Yeah.
So it was Suni, Jordan,
Chinese.
Shy, Jade,
Was it Jade?
and I didn't see Jade, but they had to have passed. It was not Simone, but I want to point out that Simone talked about this when she announced her comeback, and one of the things she said was that her PR people booked her too much promotion before
Yeah.
Tokyo.
And you know
So,
what? I'm kind of glad it's not Simone.
like, but I just want to point out that this is not anybody saying no to Simone. This is probably Simone smartly not
Saying
repeating the same
no.
mistakes. Yeah.
Because whether we like it or not, they made that girl the face of the Olympics. And
But being in these promos doesn't mean you make the team, and they have to do these promos this time of year
so that
because
by the time, like, the Marches, the Mays and the Aprils come around, they're able to have them ready.
and because the athletes don't have time in the
Yeah.
Marches and the Aprils and the Mays to take a day or
I like how
two
you
to
set them
do.
in order, and I was just like, months, what are those order we're having?
But like they don't have like this is a terrible person to evoke of this, but Lance Armstrong talked about how you can't do promos right before the big event because you just don't have time.
You don't, and because those are all day things, y'all. Like, listen, as someone who has worked in television production and movie production, you like the finished product is what 30 seconds, but whole days of production goes into those promos. Like, and I'm talking like call time is for like crew 4:30 a.m. And
But like there's a reason why all the Tokyo fluff was clearly produced before COVID because it was done in the fall of 2019.
yep.
When so I have a friend who did not work for NBC but who was NBC adjacent. When Matt Lauer, whatever his creepy name was,
Oh my
uh,
God,
in
yes.
2018 when he was all over the Olympics, uh, and, and they had to and he had a scandal right before the Olympics. They had to spend overtime to cut him out of fluff pieces.
And okay, it wasn't just a
And my
scandal.
friend assures me it was millions of dollars of overtime.
Yep. And
So
it's
I
not
mean, this is a long term thing, but um, I'm not going to name who it is. But at least one of the U.S. gymnasts, NBC promos, um, has her doing sort of beam choreography with posture that would get her a deduction.
I'm not gonna say
I'm
the name.
just saying.
Okay.
I don't want to call out the gymnast because I don't think it's their fault. We don't know what NBC chose of
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Oh, okay. I
Farden.
do.
Farden is the last thing we have to talk about.
Kind of, yes. I do want to tease. There is an interview we're doing next. Yeah. Hold on. Let me bring up my calendar because I have it on my calendar. It is Monday. Next Monday, we'll be doing an interview with a former NCAA gymnast. I'm not gonna say who it is because I've learned, but it is it's a very heavy conversation on eating disorders and on the abuse going on in NCAA, and it's going to be a really good conversation. One, two, it's one that really hits home for me. So I want you guys to be, tuned in for that. It's not going to be a fun conversation, but it will be a very enlightening conversation and hopefully something we can all learn from. Okay, now farted.
So I'll give you the brief rundown. The Washington Post ran a long piece, not just about Farden, but about like using him as a launchpad to talk about abuse in NCAA, and going like they went in deep.
Yeah.
But one of the things that his lawyer did when they asked him for comment was say that he was investigating suing the accusers. So here's the thing. I know a fair bit about defamation law for reasons that I'm not even going to go into. But so defamation law is very specialized.
Yes.
And his lawyer is an employment lawyer who does some criminal work. So he's not a specialist in this.
Dumb.
And Utah passed a law in the last year that makes it extremely expensive to try and punish somebody for their free speech with the legal system. So
Question.
if Farden is stupid enough to sue them, it could end up costing him a lot of money.
Now, question: could someone like, say me, could I have sued people?
So you could have, but it would depend on what state you live in and they lived
Texas.
in.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that in Texas they also have a very strong law against violence, sort of limit, like definition is a very complicated thing. If some do things, so it's hard. But don't go defaming people. Don't go lying when you know
You
that
sounded like
it's
a
a
robot
lie.
for like half of
But
that.
also, don't go defaming people. Don't go lying about people that you know is a lie. Don't think you can punish people using the court system. So the Washington Post reporter says that she contacted Utah for comment, and he was suspended shortly thereafter. So read into that what you may.
What do you
If
read
his
into that?
employment lawyer got him fired, that would be deliciously ironic.
Ooh. Huh.
So anyway.
Now I do think if he does sue them and it goes to trial,
it won't go to trial because truth is an absolute defense.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want discovery.
Oh, he'd be
The University of Utah doesn't want discovery.
Oh, he'd be fucked.
And I'll give you the sort of headline I've not been saying in text is courts do not like it if you sue only a couple of people if multiple people hurt you. And if he's saying that he was harmed by the student athletes who made accusations against him, he has to sue the University of Utah too.
So just trying to apply it to Mike so I understand. Would I have to sue Twitter?
No, because Twitter's just a platform.
Okay.
But the University of Utah wrote that report.
Oh,
and we wouldn't know anything about it if they didn't publish that report.
Yeah.
So anyway, there were a lot of very stupid things about that threat, but he doesn't want discovery. It's not going to go to trial. He shouldn't do this. It would cost him a lot of money. It's just dumb. But anyway,
money he does not have.
Well, especially if he's getting himself fired. The other thing is he said that he wasn't the lawyer said he wasn't going to change his coaching techniques. And that's like saying having your lawyer say that you're not going to abide by your parole.
Oh my god, that was so delicious for me because then I dug up that screenshot of the young lady from Reddit, and it was like And the only thing that precedes you, sir, is your reputation, and it's not great.
Yeah. So
Oh, delicious.
let's have some
Oh,
fun and watch some old school scammy American Cup.
yes. Okay. Change scenes.
So
Okay.
people, the American Cup has been scammy for many decades.
Yes.
This is 1987, and it is as scammy as the scams you know.
Oh my gosh. Now, who is in this?
So this has Christy Phillips,
Ooh,
Olga Strazeva of the famous floor routine that everyone makes you watch,
yes.
Phoebe Mills, who was the only American to bring a medal home from 1980 Olympics. And there's some other interesting people here that we don't see because this is the 1980s and they cut them out.
Fantastic. I love the forest. Okay. So, here we go.
Like Nadia Comaneci before her, Mary Lou Retton was an Olympic and American Cup champion under coach Bella Caroli. Then a year ago, 13-year-old Christy Phillips took on the world in the American Cup and came away with another championship for coach Caroli.
Oh, what is this,
And this
honey?
year, Phoebe Mills, yet another Caroli protege, joins Phillips in the 1987 McDonald's American Cup.
What is this graphic, though? Oh my god.
It's 1987.
I loved it.
We are
So
live on
Phoebe
CBS
Mills
Sports Sunday coverage of the
does
1987
so many
American
shady
Cup
things about the
Gymnastics
Carolis
Championships
now.
from George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia. Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan with
Fairfax.
Olympic gold medalist and three-time winner of an American Cup championship himself, Bart Connor, and we'll be joined by our own Ann Butler as the program moves along. Well, the program has been moving along with great excitement today, Bart. Yesterday, of course, there were 42 gymnasts in all qualifying to make it into the final 16, 8 men, 8 women here today.
Oh, they're
The
qualifying?
American team has, of course, Christy Phillips
Yeah.
defending her American Cup Women's Championship.
Okay.
The men's team was somewhat hurt by the injury to Tim Daggett.
Yeah, Tim did hurt his neck a week ago, but he seems to be doing well in Los Angeles, recuperating right now. But we do have a very strong competition going on here. Absolutely. I mean, the Soviets have sent some terrific gymnasts, and generally what they do is send some people who are very close to breaking onto the international scene, and they have two outstanding performers here today. Vladimir Gogoladze for the men, and for the girls, Olga Strazeva.
Well, in the women's competition, they will compete in 4 events. The vault, uneven bars, balance beam, where we are now, and the floor exercise. And the current standings...
So we're not going to do bars or vault. We're going to go straight to beam.
A relatively
okay.
unknown Soviet, but looking very good in first place. Phoebe Mills, Christy Phillips right behind her, and Augustina Badja from Romania. Now, Olga Strazeva still to come in the balance beam event, awaiting that, and earlier in her uneven bars performance just a few minutes ago, she was spectacular, Bart.
She is probably one of the best bar
Now, will you
workers in the
explain-
world.
oh,
She has a
explain to me
tremendous
earlier?
line of extension. Notice here a perfect line
Yesterday?
in the handstand. Free hip.
I mean,
watch
what?
the free-flowing swing.
How, like, they didn't...
Look at that giant swing. Topped off
consider-
with perfect form.
Ooh.
Oh,
And she kicks
if
out
you
of
want
this
to pause
double
this for a
back.
second,
Yes.
I'll tell.
And nails the landing. She's tough there. Scored 9 points.
Beautiful.
So the Soviets and the Americans used to have dual meets every year as a sort of like friendship thing. And it was remarkable that the Americans and the Soviets were always very close in these dual meets. The Soviets always won the team
Remarkable.
event,
Shady.
but they were very close, and much closer than they were when they would meet in international competition, say at Worlds.
Yeah.
And I have discovered why. Because they didn't count compulsories at these dual meets. They did compulsories, they just didn't count them. So the in 1987, the Soviets beat the Americans at their dual meet by 2 points. And at 1987 Worlds, they beat the Americans by 12 points. Because the Americans were not good at compulsories. And what did you say Missy Marlowe said about compulsories?
Missy Marlowe famously said that they didn't spend much time on compulsories because they didn't like them.
Which is wild because compulsories at this time were as half a score.
Yup.
Anyway, so there's no compulsories here, but and this is not that event, but Olga Strashova is going to be an Olympic gold medalist. She's going to be a world champion. She'll be the bronze medalist all-around world champion in 1989.
And it's just fast. What would you say? Remarkable. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So the at 1987 Pan Am's, Greg Marsden, the head coach of the program, looked at how the U.S. stamped their dominating Pan Am's and said that this was a good showing and evidence that they would.
Okay, let's see this.
So at Pan Am's,
14-year-old Olga Strashova, 9.
Yes.
The field was so weak that they had to water down the compulsories because the other programs in the Americas could not do the standard Olympic compulsories.
Now, who? Something you said earlier in one of our lives, like months ago. You enlightened us who did the compulsories when. Now, who do you happen to know who the compulsories were? Who was in charge of the compulsories this time around?
I do not know for this one. Each apparatus would be given to a different federation to do the compulsory. So, Ukraine designed the 1996 B, and the United States designed the 1996 bars. But
fascinating.
Anyway, so we should go back to Strashova,
yes,
who has just done a lovely dismount.
9 on the uneven bars, and so she is in first place in the women's at this point. Now, in the men's exercises, they have 6 different events. They've currently gone through the first 4. They're now competing on the parallel bars. And at this point, the leader is Brian Ginsberg of the United States, with Scott Johnson right behind him, and the Soviet, who is very tough, not out of it yet, Vladimir Gogoladze,
Greg
who was
Marsden
very
was
impressive yesterday. He led the
abroad.
preliminary qualifying round. And so we've got live action ahead.
No.
And coming up, it'll be Gogoladze and Olga Strashova when we return with the American Cup.
Cute.
That's not the
Live from Fairfax, Virginia, Tim Ryan and Bart Connor with Ann Butler at the 1987 American Cup
Strashova is Ukrainian, by the way.
And in the balance beam competition, we'll be watching this young lady shortly. They're having their warm-ups right now. Olga Strashova. She is 14 years of age. She's from the Ukraine, Zaporizhia in the Ukraine. And yesterday on this event, she had a 9.9, and so we expect her to be equally as tough today. Now, Ann Butler spoke with American coach Bella Caroli to get his impressions of Olga.
Bella, of course, you've been preoccupied with Christy and Phoebe over the last couple of days, but how do you assess the Russian competitor's skill? She scored a 9.9 on the balance beam just yesterday.
Lasha good yesterday did a good routine with pretty solid, even though she took out a few skills just to make more secure and more solid. But otherwise, the performance was clean with no major mistake in it. She's a pretty strong competitor. She's one of the better ones right now in her country. And hopefully going to be one of the, actually that's the Russians' hope, that's going to be one of the Olympic contenders.
Well, there's a look at Olga and Bart Connor. I think Bella Caroli kind of let the cat out of the bag. When you talk to the Soviets, they're always a little vague about where these youngsters stand that they bring over here and introduce for the first time, where they stand in their own national picture. Olga herself placed herself about number 5, she said, but we learned from another member of the Soviet delegation that she's thought of as highly as number 3 behind Shushanova and Omielanchik, who are recognized around the world as probably their top 2.
And what's interesting
originally.
About that fact is on
that
any
one's
given
from
day,
like
any
1985.
one of maybe 10 girls could be the Soviet national
So it might be a hand-me-down.
They're strong, they're that deep.
Well, the depth on that Soviet gymnastic
that
team
was
is
like
really
the standard
indeed,
Soviet
this young
team
lady
Leo
came in here yesterday,
for team
showing
competitions
tremendous
for
maturity
like
at
2 or
age
3 years
14,
in the
a
mid-80s.
lot of confidence. She won the qualifying round yesterday with 39.3 points out of a possible 40. Came first in the vault, the bars, and the beam. And on the beam, which she is about to compete in here, she had a 9.9. And indeed, there's her score, 9.9 from the
So
beam
I'm
yesterday.
going to tell
She
you
finished 7th in the floor
right
exercise.
away.
And really,
Christy
Bart, only
Phillips is going to
because
get a
she
higher
stepped
beam
out
score
on a
than
very
she does.
difficult
So I
trick
want
in
you
her tumbling
to
run.
compare in your
She was
mind
actually trying
her,
some very
her
difficult
beam
elements, as
and
she will be doing here
Phillips'
on the
beam.
balance beam.
Okay.
One thing that is so terrific about the Soviet athletes is they never hold back. Watch this mount. Back handspring, back handspring. Oh,
Ooh.
she was a little bit off on that second back handspring. Yesterday, at that point, she went right into a laid-out backflip. Now watch this trick. There's a one-arm handstand.
My God. The strength.
Back to a two-handstand.
Ooh.
I
Right,
mishold.
it's called a Healy twirl down to the beam. I've never seen that attempted
I do
before
too. I wish it
on
would
women's
extend
balance
the,
beam.
at least make them 2 minutes long. But
I
that
think
Healy
one
turn
thing
onto
that's
the
terrific
butt,
about
my
her
gosh.
style is she's very confident, she's very poised, she stands tall, she has terrific extension. There's almost a cockiness about it. There's almost a
What?
arrogance to her performance that I think is really infectious.
A
You know what her
cockiness?
name translates to in English, Strajeva,
It's not wrong.
the secure one. Exactly what you just described.
I think that's
Oh,
very
can we for a
appropriate. Notice
second
here
just
she
like
did
talk
a
about
very
how like
clean, full
the
turn.
beat jump is named after a British
Nice fluid
gymnast?
movement, so it's important that she doesn't stop too long right here before her tumbling skills. Back
The
handspring
cut of points
layout.
is a mess.
I didn't know that.
Beautiful split leaps.
I thought the beat jump was like, I don't know. I don't even know what I thought.
Here she is setting up for her double back dismount, which she did effortlessly yesterday. Tuck double back. Okay, one hop on the landing, but a very nice exercise. A little trouble at the beginning.
So, reminder, the cowboy is not a deduction in the 1988 code.
It is now, right? Yeah.
It will become a deduction in 1989.
Yesterday.
Okay.
And the
So,
leader at this point
the
today,
Soviets
she
were
may be
very into
number 3 or
cowboys,
number 5 in the Soviet Union, but right now
Yeehaw.
she's
but it
number
is
1 at
not
the
a deduction.
American Cup. But there is still another full rotation to go, and still Phoebe Mills to come on the beam.
All right, Phoebens.
On her mount, she does a round off onto the board.
A very
Back
popular
handspring.
mount nowadays.
Back handspring, and she's supposed to go into a layout back there, but you could notice she was a little off balance, so she watered back there to stay on the beam.
Well, we'll be back with her score here, which could be a critical one for the current
Not the
leader,
commercial
Olga
break already.
Strajeva, with those little problems. We'll be right back.
You picked the shorter of the
Looking
two
at Olga
options I gave you.
Strajeva live in Fairfax,
I did.
Virginia, at George Mason University. She is the leader in the women's competition. She had a 9.75 on the beam that you just saw. And now we're going to go over to the men's competition. And our first look at the Russian man representative here today. And when we say Russian, that's not strictly speaking correct. He is a Georgian from the Soviet Union. And his name
Notice
is
how
Vladimir
everyone is Russian
Gogoladze.
when they're
And he
not
looked
Russian.
very impressive yesterday, Bart.
I'm Russian.
He did too,
Is the
and one
Russian
thing
in,
that I like
in the
about
room with us right now?
Gogoladze's style is he's a very complete gymnast on all the pieces
There is
of
not a
equipment.
single Russian
He's
on the
excellent. It's not like he
1989
has one or two hot
World's
spots
team,
and one
but
or
they're
two
all
weak spots.
Russians.
He's very consistent across
Love
the board,
that.
and that's one of the reasons why he's such a strong competitor in this event here.
20
It's
years
the
of
Russian in
age
the room
from
with us right now.
Tbilisi and the Georgian Republic, and yesterday on the parallel bars he was second with a score of 9.75, but he won the qualifying overall with 58.1.
And he's off to a terrific start here. He's doing some unique elements.
What is
Healy
this?
twirl with his legs apart in straddle position. Very nice extension in the handstands. Notice he's right.
You haven't watched much 80s mag, have you?
Perfect position,
No.
excellent toe point.
It's
Those
a
are the
wild,
things that
wild
you need to do
place.
to get the big score. Pike double back and a great landing. That is going to be tough to beat.
Gogoladze needs a perfect 10 there to take the lead, but of course he's got more action ahead. Yet another exercise to go. Let's go back and watch his dismount, which was a dandy.
I know somebody of that
One of the
era
things that makes this
who
so
described
difficult
the
is
mag
lots of
code in
gymnasts are
the
doing the double
1980s
back
as
dismount, but not very
much
many of them
cocaine.
do it like this. He does a back toss to a perfectly straight handstand, and now this double back somersault
Not
is
the
done in a pike
cocaine.
position. Very difficult to land, but obviously not difficult
Oh,
for him.
Lord. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Vladimir Gogoladze.
Wait till you
20
see
years
high
of
bar.
age, working on an entirely new set
no.
of routines. That
I
he's
saw
getting
the
ready
other
for the
days, like, they would
European
start with
Championships in
the,
May.
some
As
people would
usual,
start with
they
the
were a little
rings crossed.
closed-mouthed, the Soviet delegation, about whether or not he would
Only
show
that
some
guy
of
did.
those new routines here.
Oh, okay.
I mock that
But,
skill
this
because
is
it's a dumb
considered
skill and it
by the
disappeared quickly.
Soviets a real important
Yeah, okay.
springboard
Okay.
to the remaining competitions this year. And there is his score on the parallel bars, 9.75. So he
They used to
continues
do a lot of
trail
weird crossing of the
Ryan
rings, though.
Ginsberg, the American, in the men's standings.
Couldn't be me.
And actually, Tim, I thought he should have scored a
975.
little higher. His exercise was clean. He had all the necessary difficulty, and I didn't see any room for mistakes. I think he should have scored at least a 9.8, maybe a 9.9.
Yeah, this is scammy.
Currently third in the men's standings. Gogaladze was second in the
At least Bart is
1986
honest about it.
round at the Spartakiad, his best
I don't
finish
understand how that dude
in
did spindles
1986.
on rings without
College
throwing up.
student at the University of Tbilisi in the Georgian Republic.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Soviet Union.
Spindles?
That's what the thing
Bella
on Twitter that
Karolyi,
you
the
saw was.
Romanian now coaching those two young
Oh,
ladies.
okay.
On the left, you have Phoebe Mills. On the right, Christy Phillips, the defending American Cup champion, both training in Houston at Bella Karolyi's gym down there, where he is
Christy Phillips
churning
had such
out
unfortunate hair,
gymnastic
even for the
stars.
1980s.
And he has had great success here because Nadia Comaneci, former winner here at the American
Phoebe
Cup,
Mills had the hair of a
Australia
like senator's
recognized these two
wife.
young ladies. So here's how it
But
stands.
Listen, that's a haircut
Currently
I
in
want. As
rotation
Senator's
three,
son,
Olga
please.
Strajeva of the Soviet
But
Union
the
with a
Christy
narrow
Phillips
lead.
hairdo.
The defending champion Phillips, Phoebe Mills in good position.
Like literally every time I go get a haircut, I'm just like, can you just give me a Senator's son
Romanian
haircut? Like I want to look clean cut and
Augustina
beautiful.
Bacic, trying to carry on the great tradition of gymnastics in Romania.
That's what I usually have. But this summer I like to shave my head. I was like,
Who's
I'm so
going,
weird.
the boys or the girls up?
And Bella Karolyi, you can hear him checking at the
who goes, the boys
scoring
or the girls? Good, good.
bench there to see how things stand and what the order will be in the final rotation, which will be on the floor.
Is
So
he
we're now
allowed to do
going to
that?
floor.
Women. I find it
What?
hard to say women when the
Is he
oldest
allowed to do that?
competitor here, Bart Connor, is 15 years of age.
He was
this
infamous
competition of the
for
final
like
8.
And
harassing
small, they range
scorers
from
and
about 4
judges
feet tall to about 4.5 feet
in this
tall.
period. Like U.S.
Bella
nationals,
Karolyi, what
he
an
is like
impact
a
he's had. He's
menace.
kind of the Eon Tiriac of gymnastics.
I've been like, can you put it on my
And,
face,
we'll
Bella?
find out more about the success he's had with Christy
So they
Phillips
didn't
and Phoebe
show us
Mills with our
Phillips'
Ann
beam,
Butler.
but Phillips got a 9.9 on beam, and Strazova got a 9.75.
Not the fluff.
Arrive each morning at 7 at a gym just north
I
of
gotta
Houston.
get a bear spray.
Little
Say,
girls with big
say,
dreams.
Squishy, say.
These are the charges of Bella Karolyi. And among them,
Every time that I would walk away, I'd be like,
finest female gymnast, Christy Phillips, and her greatest rival, Phoebe Mills.
oh shit, that's funny.
Both
Yeah,
of them
same, Squishy.
High determined, hardworking young athletes. No question about that. Both of them, they set high goals, and they're going for them.
Bella's Mary Lou set the mark for Karolyi's kids, and it was no less than perfect. And while Christy Phillips has been deemed heir apparent largely on her surprising first-place finish in last year's American Cup, she couldn't have done it without a little help from her friend.
I couldn't have done it last year without Phoebe because we just push each other so much in the gym.
She's perfectly right.
Does she have top teeth?
Everyday competition with Phoebe is the more
I think so.
Than the final competition where you go out and compete.
Oh,
against
she has
somebody else.
braces.
I know what she's doing all the time, and she pushes me very much so because
Is Phoebe
she's
Mills
the best
mixed?
gymnast, and so I know that since I've got the best gymnast, I have to work
I
my hardest
I
all
do
the
not think
time.
so. I think that's just a perm.
Well,
Oh.
last year's American
the-
Cup established Christy
the
Phillips as
thing
Bella's
that Mills
best.
says now is that she was the person in the gym who would stand at the chalk bucket and make fun of Marta and Bella because she felt like the others needed to have somebody who was telling them that Marta and Bella were not the like pie in the sky.
That's good. I appreciate that of her.
I mean, but Mills was somebody who was from a family where like her sister was a junior world champion medalist figure skater, and her brother was a like athlete too. So like she had perspective on gymnastics that others didn't.
Yeah.
The progress and the competition really is generating that great progress. What is so
And she's now an
badly needed in
Olympic
gymnastics.
snowboarding judge.
Oh, really?
Well, here's how they
Yeah.
stand now in the women's competition.
She
and Bella
judged in
Karolyi
Sochi.
can be very
Oh.
pleased with this picture because Christy Phillips and Phoebe Mills each have one more rotation to go. Behind Olga Strajeva, they're coming to the floor exercise, and so it's still very much up for grabs as Christy Phillips.
Okay,
will
so I
try
forgot
to
that we
defend
didn't
her
see
crown, and Phoebe and Olga
Phillips'
will
theme
try to
here
take it
because they
away.
usually
The
love
men's
to
picture
show
looks
Phillips'
like
theme.
this. Remember, they have 6
But the
different
floor is
events
where
as
the
opposed to
scaminess
4 for the
comes
women.
into
And
play.
Brian Ginsberg, somewhat
big
of a
time.
surprise leader here, although he was a silver medalist a year ago at the American Cup. And Scott Johnson right
Sports
behind him,
Sunday.
followed by Vladimir Gogaladze. They have the high bar remaining.
And this is
in the
CBS.
final event. And there is Phoebe Mills with Bella Caroli as they await the final rotation here live in Fairfax, Virginia.
Oh my God, they were tiny. Well, they're 14 years old too.
They're 14 and they're not being
Tim Wright
fed.
and Bart Connor, we are live at the Patriot Center in George Mason University, the American Cup Gymnastics. And Bart, yesterday,
Sorry, Squishy, I had to go back to the whole like the bear spray.
The way this competition works, there are
Oh my
4
God,
American
I would so
but
totally do
only
that
2
too.
of them are
It's
allowed
like,
to advance to the final because the Americans are allowed to enter more than the other countries. Each of them can
He,
have only
like,
1 woman, 1 man. Therefore, it
at some
became
point,
a battle
not
between
now,
the
but
4
like
American
some
girls,
point in the
including
future,
Jennifer
we're going to
Say
watch
and Spivey, as to
a
who would make it to
U.S.
the final.
championship
Well,
where he
Phoebe
is like
Mills, with
on
the 4
menace.
exercise remaining, came
I would
up
have a
with
squirt
an
bottle,
absolutely
honestly.
incredible performance and just snuck
He
into the final.
And she really needed
he
this
once
performance
filed an
because
inquiry,
you'll
and
notice that when she
NBC put
did her
a camera
exercise
over his
yesterday,
shoulder to
she
see
was
he
up
was
against
writing
the
on the
wall.
inquiry
She needed a
form,
score of at least
and his reason for the
9.75
inquiry
to
was
squeak in to beat out
incompetence.
Hope Spivey, who had the meat of her life. She finished her
what a
exercise with a
troll!
strong double back and just barely
What a
made it. And, you know, most
dickhead!
people
My
had already
God,
considered that
bear
just
spray would have been
guaranteed
less
Phoebe and
disruptive than
Christy
the
would be the two Americans
shenanigans.
who make it through to the finals. Well, it wasn't
To
so. It
agree.
was a little hairy yesterday.
That's for sure. Jennifer Say and Hope Spivey both competing very
Oh my
hard
God,
to
I
be
would
the
have just the
American
squirt bottle. Just
representative
like,
in
get
this
away
final
from
round
me,
of only 8
man.
women from around the world. Gymnasts here from 21 different countries, a very colorful show for a sellout crowd at Patriot Center at George Mason University, Fairfax, Virginia, not too far from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C.
So funny.
This has been the home of the American Cup the past couple of years, and this
We
has been a
should
good
make fun of him. He
friendly
has, you know,
place,
dementia.
for you in terms of the competition itself.
Sure.
Bart, a 3-time winner. What's special about the American Cup?
Well, this is one of the most important international invitationals. There are a few. The Chunichi Cup in Japan, the Moscow News in the Soviet Union, and this event. It's very important in terms of building an international reputation. A winner here can go on to be world and Olympic champion.
Well, we have the final rotation, as it's called in gymnastics, coming up. Now,
So what did you guys have for dinner? I want to know. I had pasta, Alfredo pasta, traditional Alfredo pasta, not the bastard that we have in the U.S.
The exciting and often dangerous
What'd you eat, Catherine?
bar, horizontal bar competition.
I had some crackers and summer sausage.
6 apparatus.
Oh, nice.
And
I'm a breakfast
on the
sausage
high
kind of
bar,
person.
You can expect the crowd to really get into this because you have all of the daring do that you can
I also like
gymnastics when these men take to the high
Odin
bar.
or Odon or whatever.
Scott
I like
Johnson,
I'm not a fan
member
of
of the
like traditional
gold medal winning
sausage.
Olympic team.
I don't know why.
And after the Olympics, Johnson himself somewhat swept up in the post-Olympic hoopla, and his gymnastics suffered, but he's really been coming along well. He's back on track. And
so is Tim here?
asked
No,
him
right?
if he felt this year would be a good one for him.
Tim is not here. They said earlier that he had a neck injury.
I'm more flexible than I ever have been.
Right.
My skills, I think,
So Tim is going to shatter his leg at 1987 World.
And I think that hopefully by the
Then
88 Olympics, I'll be peaking.
Halftime.
Well, there is Scott Johnson, currently in second place behind his teammate Brian Ginsberg, coming into the final event for him and the men on the high bar.
To go to ask him. I just want them to stop asking.
How would you rate Scott on the
Making a second Olympics is one of the most
stronger events? Is it in the middle of his group? How would you describe it?
Actually, I'd say it's a pretty good event.
When I
for
say he
Scott.
shattered his leg, he shattered his
The whole thing about high bar, which makes it
On
really
fall.
scary, is every good meet comes down to who's
poor
going to
man.
hang on to the high bar on the big release moves. Gogaladze, Scott Johnson, Brian Ginsberg, they're all chucking some of the very difficult
and then tried to
moves.
come
So
back for the
some of
Olympics.
those, you know, you invite a little
So like
inconsistency.
every
Kinda
meet
like,
you see him in 1988, he's in
I
pain.
think he'll be in good shape. It's going to come down to whether he nails his triple
Kinda like
back.
Seydal
He and
Samir, right?
Gogaladze are both doing a triple flyaway dismount.
Like
and those, you gotta stick
Rebecca
to landers if you
Bross.
want to win this event.
Well, he was second overall in the qualifying.
Think
That
about
wasn't
like
he, though.
yesterday, and he was tied for
post-injury
second on
Rebecca
this high
Bross.
bar event with a 9.7
yeah, she was
yesterday.
always in pain.
So Scott Johnson will be first up on the horizontal bar. The final rotation here live from Fairfax. We'll be back with the action in a moment.
So remember what I said. The men's code in the 1980s is was written on cocaine.
And Butler, we are live from the Patriot Center, George Mason University, awaiting the final rotation.
And high bar
We'll
is the
begin with
most
men.
cocaine of
Scott
it all.
Johnson of the United States will be first up.
Oh Lord.
And his teammate Brian Ginsberg, the current leader, will be the last man in the competition of the men, and he is the leader by a narrow margin over this young man, 25-year-old Scott Johnson, born in Cincinnati, grew up in Colorado Springs, lives in Lincoln,
Not Tony
Nebraska,
Pineda from Mexico.
recently married and a graduate of the University of Nebraska. Yesterday, a 9.7 tied him for second in this
Oh,
event.
here we
in the
go with this.
qualifier.
Okay, let's see this.
We're going to know how Scott's going to do right here at the top. He starts off the exercise with the one-arm giant swing.
Okay.
Right into his inverted giant swings. Now he's going to hop pirouette. Now he's going to set up again with a one-arm giant. Here comes the release move. 2 one-arm giants, 2 a ginger. Nice.
That's not that weird.
So far, the rhythm is excellent.
Sometime we're gonna have to watch international mixed pairs of this period, because they had a guy, I believe this year, this 1987 year, who was doing one-armed gingers.
Well, there is, folks, and you can see.
Was that a triple back? Hold on.
That tells the story. They
Yep.
know how well he
1,
was
2.
doing,
Yeah, it was.
and they know what happened at the finish, and they know what it will mean on the
I
scoreboard.
mean, triple back
It is
to
so
Arabian
unfortunate that
to butt
happened
support.
because
Not
Scott
bad.
has been looking really good. In fact, maybe he just
But can you imagine a one-armed ginger?
He pulled this around. He was a
No,
little shorter rotation.
I'd rather
So
not.
Today, I know he was really cranking the flip here, and
Let's
unfortunately,
see.
he just pulled through a little
Yeah,
too far.
to
I gotta tell you,
Arabian.
That's pretty tough to land a triple back. I
Yeah.
know how hard that is, and unfortunately, a little too much rotation.
He has been so solid
Yep,
over
a little
the
too
last
much.
2 days, and in talking with him, his attitude is superb. He wanted to win this competition. He wanted to do well
Well,
here
Scott
today
won't win
just
this
to begin
competition.
his
It's okay.
year. He's looking forward to the Pan Am Games, which will be seen here on CBS in August.
So you
pointing to the
could
World
only wear
Championships
white
later in the
pants,
year.
by the way, in
I
this
think that right
this
now he
era.
represents the best possible attitude for American male
Why?
gymnasts.
And it's nice to see that since Scotty had a rough year
Uh,
last year,
I
he
do not
got
know.
married, his priorities changed a little
That
bit. His
wasn't what made it
lifestyle
rough, was it?
changed a little bit. He's actually
But
getting his act together.
Oh, we didn't have the
Unfortunately, made a
chalk?
mistake
they
there
don't
'cause
get
he has
to
been
wear
looking terrific.
they don't get to wear colored pants until like 1990,
Scott Johnson on the high bar.
That was
and then they find all the
Second coming into
colors.
this final event, and he winds up with 57.65. But he still, I believe, and that indicates it feels quite good about this entire competition. Now on the
All right, come on,
women's side,
Phoebens.
Christy Phillips floor exercise.
And I have to tell you, Christy has improved a tremendous amount here.
Oof.
Nice work on a full-in pike. She was a little shorter,
Nice work.
but it's nice to see that she's doing the big tricks now.
Jesus Christ, that hurt my
Phillips,
ankles.
Yesterday, second in the floor exercise with a 9.
Welcome to the ninth. This is why Tim Daggett doesn't think that there should be a low chest deduction, because that was normal.
One of the greatest qualities.
And all of the
Christy
dark
Phillips
colors are
has
taken away because I
when
just
she's
couldn't
out
see.
there on that floor. This girl is a
understand
little
that.
ham. And watch when she projects up to the audience. She's having a good time, and yet she's very serious
like,
about the next tumbling run, which is coming up
This
here.
choreography, I mean, it's not the worst Geza, but like, what relation to an American teenager does this have?
Down up back handspring, tuck double back. Nice work.
And this velvet floor is killing me softly.
Last year when I watched her perform in this event, I was so pleased to see with
Why is it killing you?
the way she handled the competition, the way she
I'm
handled
just
the
not a
crowd,
fan
the way
of
she
crushed
handled the
velvet,
pressure.
y'all.
I didn't think she was doing a high enough level of difficulty. in her
It just looks
exercises.
dirty to me. It smells like a
Why
grandmother's
is she
house.
like beating the floor in the corner?
Let me see. One
Here we
more
go
time.
again. Tuck, pike double back. Nice landing.
Oh, I don't know.
Great dismount.
This like choreo is very weird.
Parents looking on, and Bella Caroli,
So
their coach.
a year from this competition, Al Trotwig will be fat shaming her mother on live TV.
Oh, the lady we just saw?
Yep.
Leave her alone. Not her fault. She got the money to eat.
Now living in Houston, where she trains with Caroli, a 9th grade student.
I learned that defense here, by
This
the
is a
way.
very important part of
So that's
exercise,
it. She's like, no, my
because
fault. We
last
have the
year
money
she
to eat,
just
Adex.
found
I'm
a
like,
very
you know what?
easy
You're
double
right.
twist. This year
You're
she
right.
is really challenging the big difficulty. If she wants to be an Olympic contender, she has to be able to pull off these kind of moves at the end of a routine. And obviously, she and Bella Caroli know that it's important for her program. Nice landing. What a great dismount.
Who farted? What the fuck was that?
Bella, as he reacted, I
So
referred to him as the
Phillips will
Eon
get a
Tiriac of
9775 for that
reference
routine.
to, of course, the Romanian tennis manager, coach, former
From who?
player Ion Tiriac.
From the
Himself
judges.
a Romanian who coached so successfully
Oh,
Guillermo
okay.
Vilas, and now has the
Go ahead.
exciting Boris Becker. And with the mustache at all. It's an easy comparison to make, and they both agonized through their respective athletes' performance. Christy Phillips, and in this case with Bella Caroli, he's got to agonize through Phoebe Mills' performance as well.
You know what I would really like to do?
Here are the scores for Christy Phillips.
I would like to
What?
find someone who's gonna be a volunteer at the Olympics and kind of have them like walk around and like. I mean, I don't know how much you can do, but like kind of give the behind the scenes.
Soviet Olga Strajeva, who has yet to perform on the floor exercise. We'll be back with more of the McDonald's American Cup after this message and a word from your local station.
Klaus is dreaming right now. You can hear him like barking in his dreams.
Tim Ryan, Bart Connor, and Ann Butler back here live at George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia, where Augustina Badja has just completed her
Also pointing out, not on podium.
And Badja,
It's going to be a decade before they put the American Cup on podium.
The leader remains the Soviet Olga Strajeva, and the defending champion
Podiums are expensive.
Not happy at all with the score she received for her final rotation on the floor, 9.7.
But also, like, the audience is like right fucking there.
Better day for her on the floor, and
Yeah, they're like right there.
Well, actually, you know,
Watching her change her pants.
And she did leave a little room open for Olga Strajeva.
Can you imagine? My
that's
God.
what's worried her. Both Phoebe and Olga have a shot at edging her out if they really.
It was even worse.
You saw the standings.
It was even worse, like in the early '80s, where you could dismount bars, like
second place, and that is because she is
like if you rolled out of bars dismount in 1983, you would flop.
Keep in mind the score that she needs to get to beat Christy Phillips.
Can you imagine that happening in NCAA meet with Olivia Dunn is there and her and cell fans?
Had a mistake in the first tumbling run, 9.57.
Yeah.
That would not go. That would not go over well.
She nails that first tumbling run, and we'll know right at the beginning.
Yesterday, as we mentioned earlier, the mistake she made was going out of the boundary line over on the far corner away from our broadcast position with a very difficult tumbling run that left her just a little too far.
She was attempting a double front somersault, which is very difficult to spot the landing on.
Let's see this.
She's going to do it today in her first tumbling run again, and if she makes it, I think she's going to be home free.
Olga Strajeva, 14 years of age, from Zaporozhye in the Ukraine.
So she needs a 9.73 to take the lead.
Okay, here we go. It's all right here. Handspring, front handspring, double front, forward roll.
Well.
And she's still in bounds. Okay. 3 back handsprings, Arabian double front. What a terrific tumbling run.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Needs a 9.73.
That wasn't an Arabian double front.
Regain the lead. Yesterday,
after she finishes, we'll rewind it and watch it again.
No, I mean watching the replay, like, cause I have the YouTube stream on my TV and I have it like right next to the computer.
There it is, whip back to tuck double back, easy.
She did like an Arabian in a
and yet she has tremendous expression.
rollout.
A nice body movement, some cute elements, and then right down to some very dramatic elements on the floor.
It was another Olga who started this whole gymnastics craze from the Soviet Union, Olga Korbut. Perhaps we're looking at another one here, Olga Strajeva.
This girl has every one of the important qualities to be the next world or Olympic champion. Right here, here's the big dismount. Back handspring, full twisting, double back.
Oh my
And
God.
Barty's not wrong.
Hands down. That's going to score well.
Sellout crowd acknowledging the excellent
Okay,
Olga Strajeva.
so what do you think that should score if Christy Phillips got a 9.775?
9.5.
Here at George Mason University.
You really don't like that last landing?
I don't like any of her landings. Maybe the double tuck.
I didn't like any of Phillips' landings.
Well, no, but like, I mean,
Okay,
homegirl's
she's gonna
ankles
dance
must
a
be
little
like
here at
on
the top,
fire.
and then back up into the corner. And she's attempting a double
You
front,
will
as I
have an
mentioned before.
ACL
That
in
is
Seoul
very difficult to see the
Oh,
landing
no,
on.
don't tell
Never
me
on
that.
seen anyone
beam.
perform this skill before her.
See, look,
On
that,
on beam.
Handspring, double front, forward roll, and now she
That
goes
one,
right back across the floor with
then
3
the
back
double
handsprings
Arabian, quote
to
unquote.
an Arabian 1 3/4.
Yeah, see, don't
Really
no,
nice stuff.
He didn't
Well,
call
I
it a
know you
double Arabian.
determined
He called it an
yesterday
Arabian
that,
1
her favorite
3/4.
food is
When
ice
he
cream.
no,
Her
first
first
he
trip
called
to
it the
the U.S.,
Arabian.
she's yet to sample American-style ice cream. Her coach won't let her have any till this is all over.
Yeah, he said after the meet, we're going out for a gallon.
Not a gallon of ice cream.
Awaiting her scores, Olga Strajeva.
What does she get?
And meanwhile, while we await that
So
score,
she
let's
will get
go down to
a
Ann Butler with Christy Phillips.
977,
Christy's so anxious
The
to watch
fuck?
which
TV,
is
she doesn't really want to talk to us.
3
Christy, how do you feel
tenths
after your
or
final
300,000 or 300
Great, because I
too
really feel
small
like I did a
to
really
beat
good job
Phillips.
today.
Last year, you had to.
I'm
You had
sorry.
to perform under
What?
pressure to win. This year, you have to wait to see
So
what happens.
Phillips
Which is harder?
beats
I feel
Strasova
that waiting is harder
by
because you know when you're when you don't know what
0-5
you need and you're just going out there to do your best.
across the
you
meet.
feel like you've got to do it. And this year, I felt I had to do it, but I wasn't so motivated to do it.
Okay, we'll let you go back and watch. Back to you,
This
Stan.
makes not a
And,
lick of
Christy
sense.
Phillips with the score registered for Strajeva.
I mean, you are
9.70
too
as
tied
we
to
see her
landings
lead, even
because
though she was
landings didn't matter
disappointed
as
in the
much
score for
in
her,
the 80s.
Oh, they didn't?
9.775. Now on the high bar.
I mean, they just didn't take the deductions you're taking in your head.
Oh, okay.
From the Soviet Union.
And so far, his
All
routine is
right.
great.
I guess that makes
3
more
release moves
sense.
in a row. Now he's
I'm
gonna
all
set up for
pissed
the
now.
triple back that Scott
I'm like,
Johnson had trouble
what?
with. There it is. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow.
I've got to get like, look at that dismount, though.
Gorgeous. Like, my God. Let me see. 1, 2. Boom. Oh, I'm sorry. There is nothing more satisfying than such triple tuck.
Here's the inverted giant swings. Hop pirouette. He's gonna do nice.
Tom Ford is out of Utah.
Oh.
Not too fast here.
Hold on.
Ooh.
Fuck scammy. Fuck scam cup.
Yeah, pause.
Hold on. We got to go back to the. Hold on. Let me. Escándalo.
But let me see if I can find an article. So I'm pulling up an article to read.
Escándalo. What?
So this is from the University of Utah's official thing.
Okay.
University of Utah Director of Athletics Mark Harlan announced today that the University of and head gymnastics coach Tom Farden have mutually agreed to part ways effective immediately. Farden served as head coach of the Red Rocks since 2020 after serving 4 years as co-head coach, blah, 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 blah. The past several months have been an extremely challenging time for our gymnastics program, said Harlan. Changes like this are never easy and only come after extensive analysis and discussion. In this case, the decision provides necessary clarity and stability for our student athletes and prevents further distraction from their upcoming season. I want to acknowledge the tremendous. So he goes on to praise Tom. He's grateful to Carly Dockendorf for stepping in as interim head coach. And
so is she now head coach?
She's probably still an interim. Because it's a public university, they probably have to go through a hiring process. This is his quote: "I am grateful to the University of Utah for the privilege of coaching its storied gymnastics program," said Farden. "The University of Utah has been my home for a decade, and it is difficult to say goodbye, but the time has come for me to embark on a new chapter. I am immensely proud of the blah, 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 blah." So they're not admitting anything.
What a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So let's go back to watching, like, actual good people.
Well, I mean, that's subjective, but
okay. The gymnasts are good people.
Yeah. My God, escándalo. Okay, let's see. Let's watch this.
And this guy is in the midair.
Yeah, I love that for him. Oh, we have like what? Oh, we have like 15 minutes.
Up in the air.
You picked the short one.
I know, because I'm already like, you know when you take a shower and then you're like, oh, my bed's calling my name. It's got now.
To take the lead in the men's competition. Ginsburg still to come. He'll be the final competitor of the competition.
We should talk about the Olympic trials plan after this is over, though.
Yes.
He got a kiss on the lips from his coach.
Well, that's okay.
I guess they do it a little differently in the Soviet Union.
And he got a 9-8. Matching
So-
the score of yesterday.
Bart is alarmed at the kiss on the lips from his coach.
In the men's competition.
Let men love
During
men.
this final rotation. And that cheeria here is for Phoebe Mills, the youngster.
All right,
Northfield,
Phoebe,
Illinois.
show me what's up.
Houston with Bella Caroli and Christy Phillips. Here she goes in the floor exercise.
Oh, this is Christy. Come on, Christy.
No, this is Phoebe.
Okay.
Here we go. Full in pike. Nice job.
Who, by the
That was
way, I
better.
think is probably. I think Mills is probably the best American gymnast of that era.
In this women's competition.
Now that 9.88 is actually 9.875. We've been rounding up.
You've been rounding up.
I don't know if it's any simpler because of that, but she has gotten off to a terrific start with a full in pike.
So her,
I'm sorry.
Which is a new element for her.
she did not start at Caroli's as an egg. Her fundamentals come from somewhere
Just
else.
as Christy did, she has also beefed
I'm
up
like, did you hear what they said?
the tumbling run here.
What?
They've been rounding up the
Very
scores.
respectable back, which she did very easily.
Yeah. Well, Fig doesn't know how to do math anyway, so I can't be that angry.
Comeback effort, 9.875 her score yesterday. It got her into the
I will
finals.
say the velvet does make turns
We talked
easier.
about how Christy Phillips knows how to play to the audience. Well, Phoebe is getting there. She isn't quite the ham that Christy is, but she's doing much better and looking up off the floor, taking advantage of the energy. And the
Phoebe is not
electricity
quite the
of the crowd.
ham the Christie is.
Well, neither one of them are hams.
Phoebe Mills,
They're humans.
ninth grade student, her final tumbling run.
Humans,
Here
if
we
you
go.
will.
Tuck double back. Nice job.
I don't know. Christy Phillips is quite a bit of a ham.
Phoebe Mills.
My mom used to call
only
me a
remaining
ham.
competitor who could beat Christy Phillips.
I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of you guys, both of you.
I'd be like, please don't touch my head. What the
One
fuck?
guy who wasn't going to lose here today is Bella Caroli. One or the other of his girls will be the winner of the American Cup.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
And there they go. You heard them say
I
how
think I
they
am
push
because I've
each other,
seen
they're
more of
best
Stars of Us
friends, but
than
they're
you have.
competitors.
Fair.
Here once again is the critical beginning of this exercise. Round
And
off
she's
that
just so
handspring,
much better
full in,
gymnast than
right
Christy
back.
Phillips is.
It isn't all that high, but it has terrific rotation.
Fair.
Here's the last tumbling run.
I mean, I think you make a good argument about the landings, and maybe I'm just jaded about having seen too many terrible 1980s
Bella
landings.
Caroli watching that, he says, "Oh my goodness,
Can we
how
go
can they do any better?"
go back at the end of this and just watch her floor again,
Now look
and
back at
then
the
we'll
happiness of Coach
Stars of
Bella
Us?
Caroli.
yeah.
And the
Yeah, we
score
can.
coming up, this young girl who broke her wrist just a couple of months ago, she got a 9.825. That is not
Oh,
enough.
shocking! A Caroli
It
gymnast
will
with a
be
broken
Christy
wrist.
Phillips defending her title.
9.25.
I think so. I think so. You try. I think so. Let me see.
Christy
I
Phillips
don't know.
has retained her championship.
style?
Nobody else could catch her except Phoebe Mills. And a
Go ahead, we'll
That
go back.
Christy Phillips hair.
9.825, not enough for
Let me
Phoebe
tell you.
Mills.
It's a
And Christy
international
Phillips,
crime. So let's go back.
for the second year in a row, is the American Cup.
It was going out of the boundary line over on the far corner away from our broadcast position with a very difficult tumbling run that left her just a little too far.
She was attempting a double front somersault, which is very difficult to spot the landing on. She's going to do it today in her first tumbling run again. And if she makes it, I think she's going to be home free.
Olga Strajeva, 14 years of age, from Zaporozhye in the Ukraine.
I also am suspicious because they gave her
Here we
just
go. It's all
a low
right.
enough score
Handspring,
not to
front
win.
handspring, double front, forward roll, and she's still in bounds. Okay. 3 back handsprings, Arabian double front.
Feet, maybe double front.
What a terrific tumbling run.
Yeah, so I don't have a problem with any of those landings.
She needs a 9.
She fell out of the double
Other-
front. Oh, was that the
Phoebe
plan?
lead
Yes,
yesterday, a 9.
it was a rollout skill.
With that problem going out of bounds.
What?
Second
Go
tumbling
go back and watch that tumbling run again.
problem. She needs
Okay, the Arabian or the double front?
And she's
Like,
still- it's all
this
right
one.
here. Handspring, front
Watch the
handspring,
whole
double front,
tumbling run. This is
forward roll,
intended.
and she's still in bounds. Okay. 3 back handsprings,
So that wasn't a rollout of the skill because she didn't land it right. That was the intended skill.
She needs a 9.73.
That's wild.
To regain the lead. Yesterday, a 9.575.
That's wild.
That's why she rolls into the
She's taking
the back
a
of
little too long to rest in the corner.
skill.
But there it is.
Because remember, like,
double back, easy.
extra long changing direction tumbling lines were super in vogue in this period.
Body movement, some cute
Okay.
elements, and then right down to some very.
Well, now that you say that, I'm just like, maybe 9.7 was
There's
too
another
low.
Olga who started this whole gymnastics craze from the Soviet Union, Olga Corbett.
That just doesn't sit well
Yeah,
with me.
you're
I mean,
just
I think
you're not
used
used
to
to
this, yeah.
seeing women do rollouts.
To be the next
I'm
world
not.
Olympic champion. Right here, here's the big dismount. Back handspring, full twisting, double back.
Oh,
She's
that
a little
hurt
short,
my
but
ankles.
she didn't put her hands down. That's
Okay.
gonna score well.
No one cares about the men anyway.
Okay.
Hold on. A fart-related thing
Yeah.
to know after this. The recent NLI signings can request to be released from the contract, and Utah is required to grant it. I've also seen people claim that the transfer portal opens for 30 days after head coach leaves, but I haven't found that in writing yet. That is true, actually. Okay, back to this.
Either way, I don't think anyone is leaving Utah.
Avery Neff, perhaps?
She's local.
Oh, well.
Like, isn't she, like, actually Mormon?
Is she?
I think she is. Like, that, like, she's either local to Utah or she's Mormon.
I know that.
So.
I think I'm just used to, like, Mormons being, like, in bonnets and whatnot.
The thing that I wonder is, how is that program going to handle, like,
the infighting?
Like, apparently, yeah, the infighting is, like, apparently some of the team members were seen taking plaques off the wall of the transfer students on the fame. Other members of the team reported it. Clearly not a, like, team.
Oh, wow. Okay,
I
one more time.
I don't know who. Sorry. Some members of the Utah team were apparently seen taking plaques off of the wall of fame of the achievements of the transfer students, and they were not. This was not done with permission of the university, and pictures were taken by other members of the team of them doing it, and it was reported to some authorities. Like, there is infighting there.
Well, oh, she is both local and Mormon.
Yeah, so I don't think anyone is leaving Utah. I think it's a mess. But on the other hand, the transfers all speak highly of Carly, and she was apparently the person who was trying to protect people from Tom.
I like Carly. She seems like she has her head on straight, and then they'd be dumb enough to hire her as a full-time head coach.
And she's been apparently on, like, the radar of lots of schools for being a head coach, but her husband works for the university in some other capacity, so
she's a good choice. I would go with her, honestly.
Like, I just.
By the way, not me calling it when Utah replied to him with, like, well, I'm excited to see what head coach Dockendorf has in store. So.
Now people can watch Utah and feel better about it.
I will gladly support head coach Dockendorf.
Those meets were going to be ugly before the season.
Wow. Okay, so plan for Olympic trials.
Oh, yes. So we are entering the Olympic year, and we have decided that For the months leading up to the Olympics, we're gonna watch all of the Olympic trials since 1980 to 2020. What we're gonna do is a wheel of Olympic trials, and twice a month, we're gonna spin the wheel and see what madness we land on. And we're just gonna watch all 11 Olympic trials that we have.
Yes.
Before.
Yes, I also want to point out that once again on Monday.
You were gonna say?
Yes. You roboted, so I we didn't get the last part of that.
Okay. So we're gonna do this sometime during the weeks when there isn't an NCAA meet, for the people who don't want to be stuck in only watching NCAA.
Yes.
So.
Now we will be having an interview on Monday that is actually related to the abuse article that was released this past week. One of the people interviewed in it we will be interviewing as well. We also the Jimmies are coming. I want to. Well, we can show them the intro last. The last
Yeah,
part of the
show
intro,
them
right?
the intro graphic. I love the trophy.
Yes. So this will be this is gonna be the intro graphic. That's an image. I need a media source. Okay, so
and some of the award poll answers were wild.
Oh my god.
The Gymternet had opinions.
They did have opinions. Very, very, very sophisticated opinions. Let's put it that way. But this is the last part of the intro. The intro in itself is a bit longer, but this is the last part of that intro. So I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Oh, it's in the corner. This is it. The Jimmy Awards.
It's a chalk bucket. I love it.
Bucket. Yeah. Yeah, let me show you guys a bigger version of that. I think I actually have this. This is one of the awards. Spoiling it right now. Oh, sorry, Restream. Y'all get to see it, but it'll be fine. Go on Twitch. Let's see. Let me give you the actual
golden trash fire.
Yes. Let me see. The Jimmy itself is right here. Here it is. This is the Jimmy itself. This is it. Beautiful. That's her. Let's talk about it. Yep.
So
that's that.
We had a lot of fun. We're gonna see some great gymnastics, maybe from some people that you haven't seen before.
Yes.
And
this Friday, no, this Saturday, we're gonna be watching Northern European Championships,
which is the England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, the Scandinavian countries. I think that's it.
Will Thora be here?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know if the Netherlands is in it, but it's in Sweden. It's going to be at
5:30. 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific.
On Saturday.
On Saturday, yes. And then after that, all the previews start. So far, we have Michigan, UCLA, Red Rocks, and I think that's it so far.
The German Bundesliga final is also the beginning of December, which should be interesting. And that and the Russian Verona Cup, I think, are the last elite stuff.
We're not watching Verona Cup.
I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just saying that it exists.
Yes. So yeah, that does it for us tonight, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Anyway. I have to get back to work on graphics. Catherine, you know I love you. Thank you so much for everything.
Okay.
When she's gone. We will be back with another show. Well, you know what? It's Thanksgiving, y'all. Go spend some time with your family. Go love on your family. This is, Native American genocide. We know that, but like, what can you do? So go have some fun. Love on your family. Love on those that you love so much, and just try not to get in fights. Life is short. Have a great, amazing, beautiful, wonderful, fantastic holiday weekend, and I'll see you here on Saturday. I love you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and to yours. And I'm gonna cry. I'm just thankful for each and every one of you that continues to watch this show, this Dog and Pony show, time in and time out. You have no idea how much I really appreciate you and how thankful I am for you. And I just hope to have the continued support as we move on, as we do bigger and better things. And yeah, so this year I'm thankful for you. So why am I crying? So yeah, have a beautiful Thanksgiving. I will see you back here on Saturday. Enjoy your turkey or whatever it is you might eat, or even if you're not with family, we might do a Thanksgiving marathon for those of you who don't have anybody to spend it with. You can spend it with us. And so, yeah, I love you so much. And I hope you have a great, great Thanksgiving. See you. Bye.